What's up, everybody? It's Into the E to the O. You already know. This is Neil from the Bible Talk Podcast coming to you once again with another dope episode, anime edition. I have a special guest. Serena is joining us today for some anime topics, some anime hot takes, some everything anime. So, Serena, my question is to you. If you guys have seen, I have posted a short about it on the podcast. Who got a better transformation, Denji from Chainsaw Man or Shinichi from Parasite? She know a little bit about Parasite, but mostly about Chainsaw Man from what I heard. So we want to see what is her answer before I give my answer. So what is your answer from information that you established so far?
So, in terms of like best transformation, I think what's cool with Parasite is that he can talk to the creature that has become a part of his body. Our poor Denji can't talk to Pochita anymore. He can't really. I mean, sometimes in dreamscapes and whatever, but I think with Shinichi you get like that kind of buddy situation, like an unlikely duo. But with Dingy, it's like having to learn how to keep going without having that loved one, that person that was, or that being that was there for you for so long is now like dormant inside of you, and you have to like keep promise for it. So it's interesting because I think it works for two different stories, and but Pochita isn't there for Dingy to explain devils to him, and so Dingy's just kind of thrown into a lot of stuff, and but Shinichi, he has Migi to, kind of be there for him. So I love Chainsaw Man. I do prefer it to Parasite, though I've never like ingested all of Parasite in its totality. I read a lot of the beginning of the manga, and then funny enough, I watched like the ending episodes with my mom because she was just watching Parasite, and I was like, "What do you?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, it's really good." I just come downstairs and she's like watching Netflix, watching Parasite, because she's not like an anime fan really, but she likes science fiction, so she's watching it. So I watched those later episodes with her. But
Okay.
yeah, but I'm interested in hearing your perspective on it since you know more about Parasite.
All right. So my answer is it's very hard to say because I like them both, but I think on the level of Chainsaw Man was basically normal guy who just would happen to have a demon, right? And he conveyed his emotion and love to that demon, and then it became one. It was like, you know what? I don't want you to die because I want you to live out your dream and everything. So I'm gonna give you my heart, right? And I have a theory to that, right? But before I get to that theory, I think the better transformation, if you're talking about looks alone, of course it's gonna be Chainsaw Man. But if you're talking about character alone, I think it's Shinichi because as because Denji was already crazy anyway, right? If you think about it, Denji was already crazy, and
Yeah.
by him having Potita, the demon in him, right? He lost his kind of his human emotion, right? But it was like you don't realize that until if you haven't watched it, spoiler alert, until like Squad 4, a few of them died and whatnot, right? I think it was Squad 4. What you see in Parasite, when you see Shinichi, over time you see he lose his not his humanity, but his emotional side, right? Everything is just like whatever, like
Hmm.
they died. Get over it, you know. And people see that his classmates see that like he's a little bit different. You remember if you watch Spider Man, right? And when he got bitten by that spider, and people saw him, be like, "Hey, you you standing up more straight. You look a little
Hmm.
bit more confident. You're not wearing your glasses. It was kind of the same way for Shinichi in a way when people look at
Yep.
him like, you're not the same Shinichi that I know from what the girl perspective of how I think she really liked him or something. It's been a while
Hmm.
since I watched it, and you see that, and then over time, it's like he was denying his alien that he had, right? He was denying. He was like, no, I don't want part of this. This is whatever, you know. But after a while, he gave into it. It's like, you know what? It's too late. You're already a part of me. Why deny something that's a part of me now, you know? So he grown to not love it, but just accept it as this is who he is. And then once he did that, he skyrocketed, right? So now he's something else, right? As you see in like in Chainsaw Man, how some humans became demons and stuff. The demon took over completely, right? With Chainsaw Man and Shinichi, is they got the same resonance of, well, this person became part of me, but you can't talk to it. This alien became part of me, and I can talk to it, but now it's like it's slowly taking over his brain, but not fully, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
and whatnot.
yeah.
You know, if you see
It
that,
was heartbreaking seeing that transformation
yeah,
with Shinichi, and it happened right after. Like it was when his mom was taken over and she attacked him, right? And Miki had to heal his heart. Oh my gosh, because I think it's really cool and but sad at the same time that he loses that part of him, but it keeps him going. And it's almost like something traumatizing happens to you, and then you have to almost become a bit colder to keep going. And I think Miki healing him, but him losing some of his emotions, kind of reflects that real world situation of going through something horribly traumatic. And with what I think is interesting with Parasite, and I guess with Chainsaw Man too, even after being changed, altered physically, like your heart, your physical and like metaphorical heart being altered, they still are able to care deeply for other people in their own ways. Like with Shinichi, he's very much more like, you know, reserved. He doesn't have a lot of emotions, but we still see him like, doesn't he like bury a dead cat, like a cat gets hit by a car?
But I don't think that was more. I think it was just more moral wise. It's like, this is not right. I have to bury the cat. If it was like the other way around, I think in his mind is like, cat is dead. I have to bury it. It's not, dang, this cat died. It's the right thing is to bury it. It's like, I have to bury it because it's the right thing, you know. So he still, either way, he wouldn't have done it if cats died and you didn't have to bury it, he wouldn't have done it. If that was like a staple in their like community, but he knows like when someone dies, you have to bury it because it's the right thing to do. I don't think he really cared to bury the cat because I don't remember him crying or showing very like, this is like a sad moment in my life for this poor.
Yeah, he loses
cat.
so much of his ability to like emote.
Yeah, but I think he still, from what I remember, I think it's only one season, and I feel like at one point, like his whole arm changed, right, but when you see Denji, his whole body changes, right. I think if they came out with a season 2, and he really lose his emotion and just become like a soldier in a way, maybe he get more of that power, unlock something else, right, and he's like a rare. So that goes into my theory, Chainsaw Man, right? So I think that it's kind of weird how they got all these demons, right? How the sword demon guy that was fighting Denji and whatnot was same as Denji, but they care more about Denji's heart, right? That demon that he had. But why didn't the creator show interest in like they looking for certain type of demons? Is it any type of demon that allows you to transform the same as Denji, or this is just a very super rare demon, like a super rare Pokemon type shit, or Digimon, if you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Is it like on that level, or just so happened to be like, oh, the way this demon allowed merge with him is what made him special? Because it's rare that ever happens. Most of the time they just take over, you know. So I'm trying to figure out where does that lie in the world that they live in when it comes to demons. Is it, because as far as we've seen, unless you read the manga, is the sword guy and the Dingy and whatnot. But then you got the girl with the snake, right? And I'm like, snake is powerful. Why she didn't make a contract? Not a contract, but do she have to die? Do you have to once die to merge? Is what I'm trying to figure out. You know, because Dingy died, and then the demon merged with him with the blood.
Yeah.
Did the sword guy have to die to see what it worked? Is it like an experiment where they take a random demon, like a random demon, and then they have to like, all right, I'm gonna shoot you in the head, and then I'm gonna throw this demon blood at you with this demon, and if y'all merge, you good to go. If you don't, well, we gotta try again. You wasn't strong enough. Like, what is that? Like in, what's it called? What is that show? It's like one if you get like bitten or something, and if you don't survive it, you die. Like, if you seen JoJo, like with the arrow, right? If you get hit with the arrow, if you get a stand, you're worthy. But if you don't get a stand, you die. You know? So it's like, it's kind of like that if you think about it. So I'm like, it may be on that type of level where certain demons are certain stands. You know, if you not worthy of that stand, then you lost. You know, you just lost for words.
I think what is it? They enter into contracts, I think, when you become a hybrid, because like the weapon, like they're hybrids, like the weapons devils, like Katana Man, the Quan Chi, because she had arrow, and some other people, like and the bomb devil Reze, they were hybrids, because I think she was part of an experiment, Reze was, with the USSR, and they kind of like saw how they could fuse humans and devils together, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember. Because like kind of like Power, but Power is different. You know, Power.
Yeah, she's a fiend.
But he's a fiend.
Well, okay, so with
fiends, they call them fiends. They call him a fiend. So I'm trying to figure out, like, her fiend is blood manipulation of her own blood, not other people's blood, right? But Dingy can transform things to Pochita. So I'm trying to figure out for her what type of, like, did he just like was like a blood demon that's made out of blood?
Well, okay, so here's with fiends, like because Dingy's closer to a hybrid, though there's like a lot of speculation of what he really is. Like sometimes people are like, what are you? What is this? But with fiends, it's like a devil takes over a dead body. Like there's no contract. It's just like if you just a devil can take you over, and there might be some personality traits and some memories from the original host in the body. Like if you remember the Violence Devil, he was like, I think the guy who used to have this body was like a good dude. Like he was pretty peaceful, and I think I remember that, but I don't remember specifics about him. So it's kind of like that, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and with Chainsaw Man, I hope we get some explanations soon about like why the Chainsaw Devil or why Chainsaw Man would be so strong and have the crazy powers.
But why he's so important to like the Gun Devil, right? If the Gun Devil would be like the strongest hybrid fiend sucker man, whatever, you know, why he care about Dingy so much? I think they building like a cult or something, right? I haven't read the manga, so I might be on to something. I might be way off. But
okay, so you're anime only.
Yeah, I only watch the anime.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I don't want to spoil. Okay.
I didn't know what you was talking about. I was like, I don't know what you talking about.
I'm sorry.
Just go along with it.
Because I don't want to spoil Chainsaw Man for people.
Nah, it's all good. I'm gonna forget it anyway. Cause I'm anime only. Anime only. I only watch it. I don't got time for reading. I don't got time. I gotta watch it quick. 20 minutes. By the time I get done reading it, it'll be 3 years from now. I don't got time.
Well, they explain certain things at least.
Okay. I might read it one day. Okay. Now, my question is to you. What is an anime that you kind of regret watching? I have one. There's only one that I have, but
it's funny because the ones that I didn't like, I think are the ones that I'm more likely to forget. So it's like, but one that I watched and I was like, man, I wish I hadn't watched that. I'm trying to think. Ah, I don't, I don't know. There's none that I can really think of that I really regret watching. Like it did something to me, or I don't know. It got mixed up in the wrong kind of fandom. I don't know. But what's yours?
Mine's is an anime called Witch Hunter Robin.
I've heard of it. You didn't like it?
I did not like it. It was so boring. I fell asleep every time. Every time. You know how many times I rewatched the same episode 5 times because I fell asleep. And at one point it got good. It's like it moves slow. You be like, okay. It kind of picks up. Then it back slow. Then something great happened, and then it's done. It's over with. It's like, this is stupid. I wish they never made it. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. No, I don't care. You can fight me. It's so dumb. I hate it. I gotta rewatch it again to maybe I was just a little bit. At the time, it was about 3 years ago. But if I watch an anime, I have to finish it. That's just my rule.
Really, I need to get like that. Honestly,
I have to finish it because it might be good. I probably don't know, but in my opinion, if you don't, I don't know. I might have to change that rule. But if you don't get me within the first 3 episodes, man, you're not good. You wasting my time. Okay, what is an anime movie that you wish that had a part 2, a sequel to it?
Oh, okay. Recently, of course, I've been watching like the anime movies that just adapt like a chunk of the canon story of a series, and not so much like the standalone movies. Like I haven't watched Your Name yet, or Weathering with You, or any of those.
I seen that sucker in theaters, people.
I wish
Subtitles,
I had seen it in
and I only watched dub, but I had to watch it. I had to watch. You know how hard it was to keep track when. I was like, forget reading. I'm just look at the pictures. I'm gonna look at the screen. I ain't about to read nothing. I'm only read it if it's like a long paragraph. Cause I'm like, I can read it quick. But if it's short, I ain't reading that sucker. Cause by the time I look down, it's a whole bunch of shit happening. No. But what about your Silent Voice? You haven't watched that one? Dang, people get in the chat. She ain't watching.
I know.
She ain't watching the good stuff.
Everyone's watched A Silent Voice because I know it's gonna be sad, and I don't know, something about movies. Maybe because they're standalone, like the standalone movies. I'm just kind of like, oh, I'll watch it eventually, and so I don't feel obligated to watch it because like I saw the Demon Slayer movie, I saw JJK Volume 0 or the movie 0.
All right, so let me tell you something. With JJK, right? I like JJK. Right. But when I watched the movie, I think because I work a lot, right? And when I went to go see it, I fell asleep. And it was packed. And I know this guy looked at me like, why are you here?
Come on, man.
If you sleep. Like, I woke up when they started fighting, like, oh, this shit good. And I went back to sleep. And like I was like, I'll rewatch it later at home once it come out online. I just rewatch it. Did I rewatch it? Not yet. I gotta get my life together because at that time I was so tired. I was like, man, but I wanted to see it, but I don't know. I like some aspects of the movie from what I remember. All right, so a movie that I want a part 2 is Spirit Away.
I knew it. I was thinking. I was like, I know a lot of people want to see what happens to Chihiro after.
Yeah, because I think at the end she moved. I think she moved away. She moved there, and it was like, yeah, this ain't working. We're gonna move back. But I want to see.
Like a pit stop. It was like they got stuck. Like they weren't. That wasn't the final destination. It was like let's stop here kind of thing. Like it was weird, and they just
moved. No, they moved into they crib, and then I think they moved to their crib, and then they went to the. Did they move, or they just went through the tunnel? I think they went through the tunnel as a shortcut.
And they got stuck. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they did. Yeah, they ain't moving. Yeah, but I want to see her as she grow up. I want to see like her a little bit older, few years older and stuff like that to see what all happened. That'd be dope. Okay.
Yeah, her and Haku.
Yeah. What? All right. If people watch TikTok, is this anime debate going on right now? And this guy said, if you watch Naruto, then you'll know what I'm talking about. They said that Rock Lee never won a fight. Do you think this is true? Because this man got me thinking. Had me thinking hard because I love Naruto. He was like, if you count Naruto in his base form and then him fighting Gaara, okay, but it was like handicaps or something like that. He never won a true fight because he always had like help, or it was like he couldn't go extra mile. But I'm thinking like, no, that's not true, because that can't be true, because I remember he was fighting that Bone guy, and I think he beat the Bone guy or whatever. He was like in the forest or some crap, and he was like fighting him. From what I remember, I thought he beat him. I thought Rock Lee lost, at least won like 5 fights throughout the season. But I guess I might be wrong.
Much of Rock Lee. I need to. Naruto's on my list because I watched a fair amount when I was younger, but I never read the manga, and so it's like I don't remember too much about it. I remember liking Rock Lee though.
Rock Lee's the GOAT. I don't care what nobody say. I wouldn't want to fight Rock Lee. He took off them weights. Come on now. Let him hit you with that leaf hurricane. Boy, you out. You out, okay? You think you strong. Boy, come on now. If I had Rock Lee's speed and power, come on now. Come on now. That's not even a fair fight. That's not a fair fight. Okay. What are some anime recommendations that you think people should watch or look into or watch? It can be movie, it can be show, it can be a webtoon, it can be a manga, it can be whatever you want. What you think people should watch, and why you thinking I can find something.
Okay, so for anime, I love Princess Tutu. I think that's one of those underrated. I consider it a classic. Like it's like a shoujo staple, magical girl staple, and its approach to the magical girl genre is really interesting and beautiful, and I love the unpredictable nature of the story. And there's a lot of fourth wall breaking, but in a really interesting way. I don't want to spoil anything. And it's if you like classical music, then you'll enjoy it. There's a lot of classical music in it, and and if you like Dororo, are you familiar with Dororo? It's
on Netflix, right?
Well, that's Doro Hey Doro. I know this.
The other the boy with the black hair.
Yeah.
Okay, I know you're talking
about. Get put back together.
Yeah.
It's similar to that. I'm sure it was inspired by that because that came it was a Tezuka manga like a long time ago, so it has that element to it, like building someone back up, and while they take on these new parts of themselves and becoming like more of a complete person, they're also exposed to more negativity that comes with gaining these parts, and I think that it's interesting. Like you're trying to the main character Tutu is trying to save this prince who has no emotions by building his heart back. But when she helps build his heart back, he's also exposed to more pain and sadness to the point where he even starts to become afraid of her at one point because he knows she's helping him have emotions. So I really liked that aspect of thinking you're doing something good for someone, but you might actually be hurting them. But then there's good and bad of being able to feel things, and it was really nice.
I don't want to feel that. All right, I have one. Have you ever seen Sword Art Online? This is another one, but it is a anime that is a sequel to Sword Art Online when they got the seed and whatnot. It's called Excel World, right? Basically, it's like because in the anime when they beat the game, they got a seed to branch out to other games and stuff to make different worlds. And one of them worlds was Cell World in a different universe and whatever. And the gameplay is basically the same, but it's a little bit different. You have a guy that the main character is he sucks at the game, but he gets better over time, becomes one of the greats and whatnot. Another one I think you guys should watch is called, if I can find it, Girls Bravo. If you know, you know. Basically, is another world where there's two worlds, right? But it's like a multiverse. But in these two worlds, it's so weird how you transport to the world, right? So in Girls Bravo, I think this is the right one. I think this is the right anime. If my mind got me right. So one day in the show, the guy's running bath water. For some reason, that bath water in only his house, only is in his house, is a portal to another world. All the women killed all the men, right? But not like kill them, but just like they dried them up, if you know what I'm saying. And and there's no men in the world. They all gone. So it's just women everywhere. So the boy fell in the tub because he was looking in it, and he got transported into like this big bathhouse. And it was a girl. I think it was like one or probably like three. And it was like a man. Like you ever seen like Finding Nemo, and there was like a fish or something. There was like or whatever. It was all those seagulls and stuff. Yeah. That's how it was for that man in the show. So he runs outside. All he sees is women. And they chasing this man from Timbuktu, okay? From Mississippi to California. They chasing this man all around the world, right? He finally get back to the bathhouse, and somehow he got transported back home. When I tell you that was me, I'm living there. That's all I got. That's all I gotta say. I'm living there. What's another good show? What's another one? If I can find one. All right, you should watch Orange. I told your friend about this one.
Oh, I heard about that one.
If you like something similar to, it's like a, I don't want to say it, the way I say it doesn't like come out right. It's kind of like Steins Gate, but just a very watered down version of it based on what you're. If you ever seen The Butterfly Effect, it's kind of like that. You ever seen that movie? It's like that in a way, but just in anime form. It's very good, very confusing if you're not paying attention. Cause I was lost. I ain't gonna lie. I was lost until I started thinking, and I was like, okay, now it makes sense. Cause I was confused, but it's good though.
I heard it was sad. Is it sad?
Oh my god, it's so sad. It's so sad.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm scared to watch it because people are like, it's so sad. It ruined me, and I'm like, and so you want me to watch that? Okay.
Yeah, it was sad. It was it was sad and whatnot, but it's good. You guys should watch it. All right, if you have any other anime you want to recommend or a movie or a webtoon before we get up out of here?
Oh, let me. One of my friends, but it's still a good series. One of my friends has a like a manga that he's releasing chapters for on the Manga Plus creators website.
Oh, okay.
Called Hustle, and his name is Ty Davis, and it's really good. We've got one chapter so far, and he's got another chapter coming out in February. And I'm glad it's been doing really well on the website. And it's got superpowers. It takes place in Memphis. A lot of good like interpersonal interactions between characters. It's funny. It's cute. Sweet. So all within one chapter, it's been doing.
Okay, the whole shebangle. Okay, I mess with it. I'll link it down below. I'll link her information down below and everything you can find that we talked about down below in the comment section. Peace out, boys and Girl Scouts. Have a good morning or good night or whenever time you're watching it. Peace.